Good evening. Good evening and welcome, friends, families, and soon-to-be graduates of the class of 2024. The simultaneous pursuit of the best self and the common good. This is the epic endeavor and the worthy challenge that faces each Millbrook student. This is exactly as it should be in a community whose motto is non sibi sed cunctus, not just for oneself, but for all. Tonight, we gather to honor Millbrook excellence in the class of 2024. We will recognize those sixth formers whose efforts, performances, and contributions to the greater good have distinguished themselves and their school. Cell phones on silent or powered down tonight, please. I'm looking at you over in the corner in the front row, and I'm looking at you, parents and grandparents. Let's give our undivided attention to this class and these moments. Underformers, tonight is the perfect night for you to set your sights. Before I turn things over to Aaron and Annie, I want to acknowledge two groups of students. The first group is this year's one-year sixth formers. I want you to come to the stage. Liam Alberti, Joe Dotterer, Isaac Friedman, Ben Giasoni, Philip Iceland, Dalton Kane, Nolan King, and Chris Torres. Join me on stage. I want to give special recognition to this group, something that's never been done before, because at risk of getting in trouble with alumni of the past for using a superlative, I don't think we've ever had a finer group of citizens, scholars, athletes as this group of one-year seniors. In just 1 year, you bought in, you gave it your all, and you made your mark. Millbrook has benefited from you, and we are grateful for how you made the most of your time here. Please join me in applauding this group. Now I invite all of this year's prefects group to the stage. Karita Aline, Jivi Fleuristal Muhetto, Annie Halleck, Shay Jazeel, Aaron Jean-Francois, and Gio Panicola. Please join me on stage. This class, the class of 2024, has come a long way in 4 years, and you, prefects, have represented them with integrity, intelligence, reverence, and respect. You're as poised and positive and grateful and caring of a group of elected student leaders that I've witnessed in my time in independent schools. Please accept a small gift from me and know that your names will forever be placed on a plaque along with prefects of the past and prefects of the future in the head's office in Schoolhouse. I ask our student body, parents, and faculty to join me in applauding you for your extraordinary leadership this year. It is now my pleasure to turn to prefects Annie Halleck and Aaron Jean-Francois to lead the prize night ceremonies. Annie.
I would now like to introduce Shay J. Seal and Giovanni Panicola to introduce the 2024 Gifts Acknowledgement.
Hello, everyone. In addition to the gift that our families have given to the school each year, the members of the sixth form class also give a gift. It is our pleasure to announce that the sixth form class gift will be used to continue to update the AV and entertainment equipment in the barn, which will be done at the discretion of the Student Life Office.
Over the past 4 years, our class has seen the barn go from a place that was completely off limits during COVID to what it is today, a place where you can go anytime, where you can always find a friend, and is a meaningful part of the Millbrook experience. It is our hope that this gift will help ensure that the barn remains a place where Millbrook students want to be, a place where they can always find people who they love.
On the behalf of the entire sixth form, thank you to Mr. Morrissey, Ms. Birnbaum, and Mr. Kennedy for all that you did to make this year so special to us.
I would now like to invite Ms. Gianna Mascari to present the McWeeney Tour Guide Award.
Not that tall. Created in memory of Edward F. McWeeney, Millbrook Class of '56, the McWeeney Tour Guide Award recognizes the member of the senior class who has gone above and beyond the call of duty as an ambassador to the school. This year's recipient is Gio Panicola. He's really getting his steps in tonight. While the class of 2024 has many members who dedicated much of their free time to engage with prospective families, Gio has indeed gone above and beyond the call of duty as a Millbrook ambassador. While yes, he has led our ambassadors in the sheer volume of tours given, spent hours at receptions and participated on panels, it's the genuine care that Gio puts into his interactions with families that truly sets him apart. Gio embodies Millbrook School's mission of known and needed from the moment he greets visiting families. He engages with them authentically, embracing the unique qualities of each prospective student he tours, helping them to build a picture of what their time could look like on campus with us. And yet, Gio's impact as an ambassador is not limited to the walls of Callard House or the bricks that guide our tour route. Gio is a true ambassador of Millbrook in every area of his life on and off campus. Whether within the confines of our own community as a student leader, or as a representative of our student body when he leads multiple varsity teams in athletic contests at rival schools, Gio truly models what it means to leave it better than you found it. Gio, for 4 years you have been a reliable tour guide connecting with a wide variety of prospective students, and I'm confident that there are many underformers here with us in the crowd tonight who chose Millbrook in part because of your professionalism and warmth in the admissions process. On behalf of Callard House, we are so appreciative of everything that you've done. Congratulations.
I would now like to invite Ms. Eve Whitehouse to present the Dean's Prize.
The Dean's Prize aims to honor those 3 or 4 year seniors who, quite simply, have perfect attendance. This is a much bigger group than last year, which I see as progress. I'd like to invite Christina Bellin, Abigail Brown, Chanyu Chen, Aiden Corbin, Sarah Egan, Lucas Johnson, Kelly Nowla, Sally Pinchot, Lily Sleepoy, Tyler Spokane, Jess Trocchio, Madison Weiss, and Tracy Yin to come to the stage. All right. Show up, turn it in, turn it up. This is our challenge from our head of school, Mr. Downs. And these students next to me showed up. They all have perfect attendance. Yes, there are some excused absences. They are human beings. Sickness does happen. And yet these students do not have a single unexcused absence during their entire time at Millbrook, which is tough at boarding school when you can sleep in accidentally. If you look at this group of folks, they are people of integrity and discipline. In showing up with purpose and intention every day, they have been leaders in the classroom and throughout the community. The first step to being a successful person and leader is to be present and on time. And all of these students are leaders in their respective spaces on campus. The Dean's team congratulates these sixth formers for consistently doing just that in their time at Millbrook, with the gift of a small chapel bell. Thank you and congratulations.
I would now like to invite Mr. Vincent Soriento to present the four-year varsity letters and the Frederick W. Knudsen trophies.
Established by former faculty member James L. Jordy, this award is presented to any four-year student who lettered in the same varsity sport or sports for 4 consecutive years. I am proud to announce that this year there are 24 recipients of this honor. The award is a testament to each student athlete's commitment to the athletic program at Millbrook. Will each of you please come forward when I call your name? And with the audience, please hold your applause until the entire group is on stage or near the stage. Karita Eileen, track and field. Christina Bellin, field hockey. Danny Bergen, cross country and track and field. We come to the stage. Yep, come on up. Here we go. Abby Brown, field hockey and ice hockey. Aiden Corbin, cross country. Pat Costin, baseball. Eli Crystal, football and lacrosse. Juliet Drury, cross country, track and field. Sarah Egan, cross country. Jack Evans, cross country. Macy Gilbert, volleyball. Zach Herman, soccer. Shay Jazeel, field hockey, ice hockey, and lacrosse. Aaron Jean-Francois, football. Lucas Johnson, golf. Callie Leary, ice hockey and lacrosse. Kaylee Murphy, ice hockey. Charlotte Norton, field hockey. Gio Panicola, ice hockey and lacrosse. Jack Rexhouse, football. Ashley Rogers, soccer. Luke Sosno, tennis. Jess Trocchio, field hockey, ice hockey, and softball. And Madison Weiss, track and field. The Frederick W. Knutson Trophy is awarded to a sixth form boy and girl who best represent what it means to be the most outstanding athletes in their class. In addition to exhibiting top-notch athletic ability, these students will have shown a commitment to academics, will have played at least 2 varsity sports, and will have demonstrated the integrity, leadership, and character that is fundamental to Millbrook's mission and spirit. Selected by Millbrook's varsity coaching staff, this year's winners of the Frederick W. Knutson Trophy are Shay Jazeel and Gio Panicola. Shay and Gio, during your time at Millbrook, each of you have fully embodied the school's motto of non sibi sed cunctus, not for oneself, but for the whole. You have left each program you've played at Millbrook better than when you first arrived here on campus. But more importantly, you've been great teammates, role models, and leaders in this community, and ultimately, that is why you share the stage here tonight. Shay Jazeel has been a 4-year, 3-sport varsity athlete, and this year, she was a captain on all 3 varsity teams she played on. Not bad. A dominant player in field hockey, ice hockey, and lacrosse, it's been a joy to watch Shay grow into the athlete she is today. If you've ever had the pleasure to watch Shay on the ice or the turf, you would see a fierce competitor who plays the game the right way. While Shay is a tremendous athlete who has had an impact every time she put on a Millbrook jersey, I would argue that she's an even better teammate, inspiring all of her teammates in her time at Millbrook. To quote some of her coaches, Shay has an impact in all areas of the field. She leads by example. Her hard work and compete level inspire her teammates to raise their own performance to match her intensity. Shay is coachable, driven, aggressive, and has always been committed to the good of the team over her own personal accolades. Shay makes everybody around her better. The sportsmanship and maturity that Shay demonstrates as a competitor is well beyond her years. Shay, we look forward to watching you continue your ice hockey career at SUNY Oswego next year and beyond. Well done. A 4-year varsity letter winner in both ice hockey and lacrosse, Gio Panicola embodies what it means to be a selfless teammate. I had the pleasure to coach Gio these past 4 years on the ice, and when I think of Gio, I think of a young man who showed up every day with a joy that was both contagious and inspiring. What impressed me most about Gio was his ability and his willingness to put his ego to the side and put the needs of his team first. In both lacrosse and hockey, Gio loves his teammates, and his teammates love him. It is lacrosse where Gio will continue to play after Millbrook, as he will continue to play at Endicott College. For these past 4 springs, Gio has been a defensive backbone of a boys lacrosse program, helping that team go from a sub-500 team in his 3rd form year to a team that this year went 11-3 and dominated its league. To quote his head coach, Gio was quiet and humble, yet poised and assertive. His belief never wavered, and he always helped rally our guys. In other words, Gio consistently made his teammates better. Well done, Gio. Well done, Shay.
It is my pleasure to invite Mr. Joseph E. Rosidi to present the Christian Steele Class of 1991 Prize for Technical Theater.
This year's Christian Staley Award winner is Karita Aline. Yeah, that's good. The Christian Staley Award for Excellence in Technical Theater is given in memory of Christian Staley, class of 1991. The winner of this award receives a varsity letter jacket embroidered with their name. Yes, actually. Despite being pulled in many directions, Karita found her way to the theater again and again, usually early, when a production needed technical support. She did this when she wasn't on duty, occasionally covering assignments that emerged minutes before a performance. Communicating technical needs to Karita was always an efficient process. She listened carefully and absorbed the information she needed with just one pass. Karita weighed in on design elements for every show in her time here, learned to use every power tool in the wood shop, lent us her skill as a scenic painter, and managed her peers in high-pressure situations, both backstage and in the booth. When she was working on a production, everything felt settled and solid. Supporting the technical elements of the theater is an inherently non-sibi sed cunctus sort of thing to do. Your work promotes other people's performances. Karita always seemed comfortable playing that role, finding a way to not only give the spotlight to others, but also to do everything she could to elevate her peers on stage. Congratulations, Karita, and thank you for hustling to make magic happen in our theater and for working hard to help other people's stars shine brightly. This year's Abbott Cup winner is Grace Ashford. The Nathaniel B. Abbott Cup is named for Nathaniel Abbott, longtime teacher and administrator at Millbrook School. This prize is given in recognition of students who have helped shape the spirit of the arts at Millbrook. In addition to being in Millbrook Singers since her fourth form year, Grace has taken painting, honors music, studio pottery, and honors drawing and painting. Adjusting for the half year she was studying abroad, that's an average of 2 art credits per year and includes 2 honors classes and 1 auditioned ensemble. Grace also rolled up her smock sleeves beyond her classes. This spring, she was somehow a part of the after-school dance ensemble and studio music. For our music lessons community service, Grace taught guitar lessons to faculty, children, and even Chef Sam. What? Performed at Arts Night? Check. Displayed original artwork in Holbrook Made? Check. Been cast in both a musical and a play at Millbrook? Check. Can you remember the last time Grace performed a Monday morning melody? If you recall that it was less than a week ago, give yourself 2 points. But simply taking advantage of a broad sample of arts classes at Millbrook isn't enough to qualify a student for this award. Grace's real secret is that she welcomes other people into her joyful exploration and creative pursuits. She thinks about other people and how she can use her artistic talents to make their lives a little bit better. You see this in the way Grace brings people together from all corners of her community to collaborate, the way she prepares delightful music to share even as others are looking ahead to the next chapter in their lives, And you see it in the book she created for her culminating project that celebrates each of her classmates. Grace sees other people and remembers that we all have something meaningful to contribute to a creative project if we are just given the chance to do so. Thank you, Grace, for transforming our programs with your time, your talents, and your heart. Congratulations on winning the 2024 Abbott Cup Award.
I would like to invite Mr. Lewis Fewer to present the English Writing Prize and the English Poetry Prize.
Good evening, everyone. All right. So this year, the sixth form co-recipient of the English Department's Poetry Prize is also the recipient of the English Department's Writing Prize. Congratulations, and please join me on stage, Grace Ashford. They're going to know a lot about you after this. Before I talk about Grace, there were some impressive writing portfolios submitted this year by sixth formers. So would please, Madison Weiss and Cameron Wooden, would you please stand up? Madison and Cameron's writing portfolios were exceptional this year. Their writing highlights the rigor, nuance, and lyricism we hope to cultivate in all Millbrook English students. Thank you both. I've got some books for you. I'll find you tomorrow. Now on to Grace. Eileen Miles writes in their essay, "How I Wrote Certain of My Poems." The process of the poem, the performance of it, is central to an impression that life is a rehearsal for the poem. This assertion by Miles seems essential to understanding why Grace is on stage tonight. Both poets live in rehearsal, which is to say they bring to experience, to life, ephemeral as it may be, an intentionality. They take in the details, the currents and signals of nature, of conversations, of friends, family, books, art, the rain, teachers, peers, politics, coffee, cafes, cities. All that bombards the sensory shell of our bodies is that which comes before the poem. In Grace's winning poem titled "Truth Be Told," she begins, "When I set out to write this poem, I held a matter in my hands, but sure as day becomes the night and flowers grow to die, it slipped between my fingers right when I had thought it mine." What Grace seems genuinely aware of, along with Miles, is that a devotion to writing what's there in front of you seems to intensify each and every experience. The rehearsal, the process, and the performance are the poet's mortal coil. The speaker of Truth Be Told embraces both the nodding of life and art, as well as the loosening of its bind. Grace continues, "Songs are not meant to be left on endlessly repeating. The record slips, the catch, the drip slowly comes to an end." Rather than get stuck in a loop, Grace invites us to embrace the slip and catch, an eventual end which marks, of course, the beginning of a new experience, a new poem. The voice Grace uses in her sixth form writing portfolio is energetic, just fun to read, according to my English colleague, Mix Miller. She channels her lyrical exuberance into a series of linked and varied essays. Successful portfolios must demonstrate a student's range as a writer, and Grace moves fluidly between an existential analysis of Virginia Woolf and Ruth Ozeki, and more personal essays which illustrate her experience, rehearsals perhaps, of studying, reading, living, and skateboarding in France last year. Aware of the cliched trappings of the tourist, Grace pushes on, finding form in observation. She invokes Proust in the same unfussy manner as Led Zeppelin and her painting teacher, Irene. Quote, "This badass chick with short hair who works at an art library, which is basically like a book library, except for paintings and sculptures and stuff. Very cool, very French." Grace's writing breathes in the tension between the familiar and the unknown. "Home is a feeling I'm going to miss," she writes. I imagine, Grace, as long as you continue to write, you'll return home again and again. Congratulations.
I would like to invite Martha S. Clisby to come to the stage to present the Sykes Mathematics Prize.
The Sykes Mathematics Prize for the 23-24 school year goes to Tianyu Chen. The study of calculus relies heavily on the concept of limits. Many teachers of calculus, in an effort to teach the concept effectively, use the phrase, "It's not about the destination, it's about the journey." You see, the place that a limit is headed is often something that our tiny little brains cannot fathom, way off towards infinity. In fact, sometimes the destination itself does not even exist. And now that I have effectively whittled down my listening audience to 5 people, I invite the rest of you to join me again. Tianyu is winning the Sykes Mathematics Prize this year because she spent her mathematical energies on the journey, not on the destination. During her 4-year Millbrook education, Tianyu never picked her head up to imagine where she might get to. Instead, she steeped herself in the here and now. Every course, every unit, every concept, every problem received Tianyu's absolute and unimpeded attention. She approached every problem she faced like a surgeon. It was the most important thing at that moment, and she would not leave the problem until all vital organs had been checked and double-checked, and all sponges had been removed from the cavity. Everyone around her got to benefit from her physical and cognitive presence. Tianyu, on behalf of the math department, you have our utmost respect and gratitude. Come back and teach for us.
I would now like to invite Miss Eve Whitehouse once again to present the Clark Language Prize.
The Clark Language Prize is given in memory of Margaret and Renee Clark, French teachers from 1954 to 1973 at Millbrook. It is awarded to the graduate who has demonstrated excellence in modern language in areas that were hallmarks of the Clark's teaching. oral proficiency, and cross-cultural understanding. It was first given in 1985. Broken record, Grace Ashford, come up stage. I'm sorry for being redundant. Grace arrived at Millbrook as a repeat 10th grader and jumped headfirst into French 1, never having before taken French. So how did she make it to this moment, winning the language prize at Millbrook, just 3 short years later? And how did Grace go from learning bonjour in the fall of 2021 to discussing French philosophy in my office in the spring of 2024? If you've ever spent time with Grace, you know she has an insatiable curiosity to understand the world around her. She's not afraid to ask big questions about the universe and engage with people to learn more about their opinions, hopes, and dreams. As language is an inherently interdisciplinary subject, Grace used French to delve deeper into art, literature, history, and humans. Second, Grace is a risk taker. She doesn't care what people think about her. In fact, she often avoids the gravitational pull of popular opinion to engage in activities she thinks are valuable, interesting, or just the right thing to do. She wants to try new things, meet new people, and believes in the power of interpersonal conversation to make the world just a little better. She practiced this skill in Rennes, France last year in the School Year Abroad program in the spring of her 5th form year, and formed a deep connection with her host family there. And finally, Grace has done the work. She spent 4 or 5 weeks in the woods of Concordia Village in Minnesota practicing French in an immersion program to prepare for the SYA year. You might think that she's simply successful due to her warm and airy aura, but that would be overlooking Grace's secret superpower. She loves the process of being curious. And rather than simply focusing on the outcome, she focuses on the work as a window to fill her life with fascination. With deep admiration, the World Language Department thanks and honors Grace.
I would like to invite Mr. Jonathan B. Howe to present the Frank W. Trevor Cup and the Science Prize.
Good evening and thank you. The Frank W. Trevor Cup is awarded to a member of the graduating class who has made the most significant contributions through study, project, or zoo work to the natural sciences and environmental stewardship at Millbrook School. In this large audience gathered, I'm pretty sure there's only one person who can truthfully say, I was the first person to handle 4 puppies of the critically endangered species of the red wolf. And I'm thrilled to present the Trevor Cup to that especially worthy student. Congratulations, Sarah Egan's. It's a wolf call. I'm relatively new at Millbrook. This is only my 2nd year here, so I've not actually had the pleasure of working directly with Sarah myself, though I've heard so much about her contributions to campus and zoo alike from all of my colleagues, who all universally admire Sarah and gush about her work ethic, thoughtfulness, intellect, and creativity. This is particularly true of her zoo colleagues, and I use that word colleague deliberately here. She's very much a partner of the professional staff there. Yesterday, in her goodbye to the community in the chapel, Sarah said the zoo was another home for her, and that feeling is shared by her zoo colleagues, who describe her as, quote, one of the hardest working head zoo curators the zoo has ever seen. So why does Sarah so clearly deserve this award? Here's some highlights of her career there. Sarah has been part of the zoo squad and the zoo community service, and this year she served as a head zoo, student curator. In her 5th form, that's junior year for most of us, when she served as both the zoo curator and a dorm leader, Sarah's mission was to promote the zoo amongst the 3rd formers in her dorm. And as an evidence of her natural, innate leadership skills, Sarah's efforts recruited a higher than normal number of 4th formers as zooies the next year. Sarah was one of 3 head student curators this year, a role that requires a very significant amount of precious time, a dedication to the zoo's needs, and a joy in doing the behind-the-scenes work that enables Millbrook to be the only school in the world with an AZA-accredited zoo. Sarah was the sole student to represent the Trevor Zoo at the annual AZA conference in Columbus, Ohio this year, and she also attended the AZA Advocacy Day, as well as made countless trips to other zoo facilities. In all situations, Sarah's maturity and professionalism helped her fit right in with the actual professionals in this field. During her time at the zoo, Sarah's seen the birth of a red panda cub, lemurs, and the arrival of a young otter. She's been at almost every checkup for newborn animals with the staff. And yes, Sarah was indeed the first person to handle the less than a month-old red wolf pups when she helped the staff conduct their initial examination. In Mr. Pugh's words, quote, Sarah lives at and for the zoo. Sarah has excelled in her life sciences science courses here as well, including both advanced biology and independent science research this year. In doing so, she worked closely with Dr. Dorr, who reports that, quote, in my 10 years plus of teaching experience at the college and high school level, Sarah stands out as one of the most passionate, mature, organized, and intellectually curious students that I have ever worked with. In her ISR project, charmingly titled Foxes on Boxes, it's awesome, Sarah investigated the nighttime behavior of our 2 fox species, something the zoo knew very little about. Though interesting simply as a pure research question, this data was also useful to the zoo staff in helping them consider how to effectively house these nocturnal and crepuscular species. And as Sarah was the first human to handle the wolf pups, I believe I'm the first human to use the word crepuscular in a science prize night speech. So here we are, honoring a student dedicated to the zoo from her very first day at Millbrook, who has risen through the ranks to become one of the most dedicated head zoo curators in zoo history, who's represented the zoo and the greater community with an admirable professionalism, and whose study of life sciences included meaningful, authentic research of intellectual and practical value. On behalf of the science department and the zoo, thank you, Sarah, for your hard work and congratulations on this prestigious award. Oh my goodness. What did she put? Thank you. And now I'd like to present the Science Department Award. Quote, the Science Prize is awarded to a senior that has demonstrated achievement, curiosity, and creative thinking in exploring scientific concepts, whose enthusiasm has acted as a catalyst in furthering scientific understanding and dialogue, and who clearly strives for excellence in all science disciplines. Like the recipient herself would do, I'll cut right to the chase. Tianyu Chen, congratulations on earning this award. Fun fact, when gathering stories for this celebration of Tianyu, Jess Bennett, director of zoo programs, and I wrote word for word the very same line. Quote, it is fitting that Tianyu is honored with this award in this year of curiosity. She is one of the most curious people I know, end quote. We both wrote those exact same words. But I guess given Tianyu's insatiable curiosity, maybe this isn't such a remarkable coincidence. Tianyu is interested in everything. This year, she has earned very high marks in all of her classes, AP Calc BC, Advanced Physics, Advanced Comparative Economics, AP English, French 4, and Honors Painting and Drawing. It's no surprise to me that both Tianyu and Sarah Egan are talented artists. I view art and science as 2 sides of the same coin. Both the artist and the scientist observe the universe around them, look for patterns and meaning, and then communicate that deeper understanding to others. We use different tools and language, perhaps, but the fundamental challenge is the same. Tianyu has met this challenge in her classes, on the canvas, in her chapel talk, and pretty much every moment of her day. Some of my favorite moments coaching third tennis this year happened when we didn't actually have court time, and Tianyu and I would sometimes just chat about everything and anything. She is truly one of the most engaging conversationalists I have ever met. Miss Bennett shares that although Tianyu remarks that she doesn't like dialogue, she's remarkably good at it, and I completely agree. In advanced biology last year, Tianyu kept me on my toes. Sometimes you can pass off a vague or unsubstantiated fact, and a class really won't even notice. After all, 73% of all people will believe a fact as long as there's a number in it and you deliver it with confidence. Not Tianyu, though. She probably already realized that my last comment was a completely bogus statistic, and she is so sharp and attentive and engaged in class that nothing gets past her. This makes her teachers better and elevates the discourse in her classroom. Her advanced physics teacher, Mr. Esformis, reflects that Tianyu is somebody who strives to reach the next level of learning, to understand the why of the subject, in addition to the what and how. She has corrected errors I've made on a number of occasions, showing a level of engagement with the material and the discussion that make her an academic powerhouse. This level of inquisitive engagement is so thorough, so genuine, so innate in Tianyu, that it even showed up in her very first science course here in chemistry, which was entirely online due to COVID. Looking back, we can all shudder at just how hard it was to be engaged and engaging in Zoom classes. And yet, her teacher, Ms. Martin, shared that Tianyu has a genuine, enthusiastic love for science. It is clear that she truly enjoys thinking about chemistry, and she brought a great deal of enthusiasm to every conversation. I think Tianyu takes a great deal of joy in helping others understand and enjoy chemistry as much as she does. And this is the spirit of this award. Again, the Science Prize is awarded to, quote, to a senior who has demonstrated achievement, curiosity, and creative thinking in exploring scientific concepts, and whose enthusiasm has acted as a catalyst in furthering scientific understanding and dialogue, and who clearly strives for excellence in all science disciplines. I can think of no better recipient than our friend Tianyu. Congratulations. Thank you for keeping all of us on our toes, and we will miss your lovely curiosity and enthusiasm next year.
I would now like to invite Ms. Lindsay Peterson to present the Blaine History Essay Prize.
Each year, the History Department awards the Blaine Essay Prize to the senior who writes the best essay in an advanced senior history elective. This year, the finalists chosen by the department were Christina Bellin, Tianyu Chen, Kelly Naula, Ava Racer, and Madison Weiss. This year's winner, chosen by our outside reader, Dr. Karen Hoppus, is Tianyu Chen. These finalists embodied exactly what we hoped for in these essays. They examined big questions of our time with insightful analysis, made us think, and drew bold conclusions. Before I highlight Tianyu's argument and essay, I also want to note and celebrate the work of our other four finalists. Christina sought to understand why colleges perpetuate and normalize sexual assault on campuses, concluding that society's normalization of gender roles and institutionalized power dynamics are to blame. Kelly argued for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants as a way for the United States to benefit economically and increase national security. Ava examined the connection between marriage migration and human trafficking, concluding that cultural norms and socioeconomic factors are to blame. And Madison analyzed the successful strategy of social movements adopting respectability politics in order to enact change. See what I mean? These papers took on complex topics of our day, and Tianyu's paper was no exception. Tianyu's paper, written for the comparative economics class, was entitled, How China Applies the Principle of Modern Monetary Theory in Its Economic Structure. For those of you who do not know what modern monetary theory, or MMT, is, you are not alone. I didn't either until I read Tianyu's paper. Essentially, MMT argues that government spending should not be restrained by fears of rising debt. The theory was popularized by Stephanie Kelton's book, The Deficit Myth, which I know Mr. Powers would recommend you all read. Tianyu took her understanding of this theory and applied it to China's economic policies since the mid-1900s. She argued that MMT has been a conscious policy choice in China and that due to its success, the policy should continue to be used in order to improve the lives of the Chinese people. Her argument goes, China maintains its own monetary sovereignty and stimulates economic growth by spending and running a deficit. And this deficit does not hurt the economy. Instead, by maintaining MMT strategies, Tianyu concludes that the Chinese government can improve the welfare of the people and achieve the goal of full employment. As Dr. Hoppus, the outside reader, noted, this excellent essay challenged assumptions in economics and in Chinese economic policies. Congratulations to Tianyu and to all the other finalists. Thank you for giving us hope that future generations can take on the big complexities of our time.
I would like to invite the Reverend Cameron R. Hardy to present the Emily Roosevelt Public Service Award.
Good evening. It is said of Emily Roosevelt, Millbrook class of 1987, that empathy, inquisitiveness, courage, and determination defined her daily life. Her drive to serve took many forms in her professional life as a lawyer and in her private life, most significantly in working with the Department of the Interior for public land issues, and as an advocate for organ donors, as she herself was a recipient of a new heart several years ago. When Emily died suddenly in 2010, her parents, Chris and Roddy Roosevelt, determined that the best way to remember Emily is to recognize and encourage inquisitiveness, determination, and public service in students attending Emily's alma mater. The Emily Roosevelt Public Service Prize is awarded by the faculty to a member of the sixth form who best exemplifies public service. There were 3 nominees from the class of 2024. The Roosevelt Prize Committee felt that though each nominee engaged in meaningful public service in unique and wonderful ways, Lily Sleepoy for her long-standing relationship with the Samburu Project, which she brought to our awareness and engagement this year, Shay J. Seal for her years-long relationship with Safe Haven Farm Sanctuary, the Trevor Zoo, and Green Chimneys Farm Camp, caring for sick, neglected, injured, endangered, and even healthy animals and their interactions with children, and Christina Bellin for her work amongst other projects with SAGE and Model UN. It was a challenge to choose just one because each young woman is extraordinary. However, one did go above and beyond, not only in outfacing service, but also in modeling internally and throughout her time at Millbrook, in her actions and her voice, the building up of a community of mutual respect and understanding. Would Christina Bellin please come to the stage? As Ms. McWright, her advisor, describes, last summer, Christina worked for Project SAGE, a nonprofit agency that supports victims of domestic violence. She babysat the children of clients, provided administrative work, and thought deeply about how what she was learning might impact her school. At the end of the summer, she brought SAGE to Mr. Morrissey and Mr. Tom's attention, who hired the organization to work with Millbrook to explore healthy relationships. As she continued to read and research this topic throughout the year, this spring, Christina wrote her Blaine essay about college and university structures for responding to sexual assault on their campuses, and as we just heard, she was one of 5 finalists. Alongside Juliette Drury, Christina has run Model UN as a club since she was a 3rd former. In the past 2 years, she's broadened her outreach to include Duchess Day School, most recently inviting them to join Millbrook for an on-campus conference in December. As Mr. Morrissey shared in an assembly, many of the Duchess Day students who attended that conference in December ended up winning awards at their next conference in Boston. she helped to prepare them well. Christina, you have been passionate about student culture from the day you arrived on campus. You think deeply about how school policy shapes students' experiences. With your voice and actions, you have been the change you want to see. An ally accomplice to students of color as a DEIB leader, and the champion of policy change, racking up one new policy for day students every year you've been here. You have brought careful attention to these programs, which has brought us closer to fulfilling our vision of providing the fullest day student and DEIB experience amongst our peer schools. This comes at a time when Millbrook needs it most. Christina, we thank you for being the still, strong, devoted voice that has broadened our reach both outwardly and inwardly, and being the catalyst for positive change. Congratulations.
I would now like to invite Ms. Jarrett Clark to present the senior honor roll.
I will now read the names of those sixth formers who have earned a spot on honor roll for the 23-24 school year. Seniors, when I read your names, please stand and remain standing. I ask that we hold our applause until all names are read. Liam Alberti, Carita Aline, Grace Ashford, Christina Bellin, Danny Bergen, Evie Blatstein, Estella Blue, Ivy Brawley, Kaya Brereton, Abby Brown, Dale Campbell, Shell Cancer, Whitney Charlson, Tianyu Chin, Aiden Corbin, Eli Crystal, Abigail Danso, Ethan Davis, Joe Dodderer, Juliet Drury, Sarah Egan, Georgia Elsner, Jess Farrell, Grace Feldman, Jivi Florestal Mujeto, Isaac Friedman, Macy Gilbert, Annie Halleck, Angelina Huang, Shay J. Seal, Lucas Johnson, Dalton Kane, Nolan King, Ella Needler, Caitlin Leorno, Nate Leorno, Callie Leary, Pedro Leon, Dylan Maynardi, Raheem Mohammed, Henry Morrow, Molly Morrissey, Kaylee Murphy, Kelly Nowla, Charlie Newman, Charlotte Norton, Elle O'Brien, Mark Ostad, Marshall Page, Gio Panicola, Lila Panichuli, Lisa Parker, James Patterson, Reed Pettipa, Sally Pinchot, Allie Prudence, Rio Quinn, Ava Razor, Ashley Rogers, Rayon Rustum, Jackson Salmon, Rush Schwartz, Toby Shane, Lily Sleepoy, Tyler Spokane, Jess Trocchio, Sam Sow, Nashley Urhiles, George Wilkins, Cam Wooden, Xander Yacino, Tracy Yin, and Madison Weiss. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure to introduce Jonathan R. Downs to present the Head of School's Merit Awards.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Aaron. The citation for the Head of School Merit Award reads, "To those seniors whose personal strengths and contributions merit special recognition." Tonight, as I stare out at the largest number of graduates in the history of Millbrook School, I have selected 8 seniors whose range of strengths and contributions are worthy and deserving of special recognition. Character in the marrow of their bones. That's why this group deserves special recognition. The best and most bizarre element of boarding school is that we live together 24/7, often in tight spaces. It's abnormal, yet magical, because you see people in ethical and moral dilemmas all the time, from the petty to the transformational. And what I can tell you is that this is a group that has an exceptional moral compass in and out of the spotlight. Evie Blatstein, Francis Chander, Ethan Davis, Macy Gilbert, Pedro Leon, Raheem Mohammed, Tyler Spokane, and Jess Trocchio come up to the stage. Hey. Evie, you arrived at Millbrook pressed by social circles of Brooklyn, and you were in a protective self-preservation mode. What you learned quickly is that the more you cared about others, the more fulfilled you felt. And the result, as Mrs. Turner points out, everyone who truly knows you knows that you deeply care for all in your sights. You are selfless in your care for others. Frances, I quote your advisor, Miss Whitehouse. If you were to see Frances this spring, you most likely would see her taking pictures. She is deft in her stylistic choices. She has an eye for how the world is put together. This is an apt analogy for her life here at Millbrook as well. She is often operating behind the scenes with maturity, thoughtfulness, and the goal of making others look and be better. Her authenticity is palpable. Ethan, your advisor, Rev Hardy, says that all who come in contact with you consider you a loyal and abiding friend. I think I told you shortly after the gratitude that you expressed at our Thanksgiving service that I was already missing you. You are uniquely you, unafraid to take risks on and off the stage. Your work on promoting Neurodivergent Club, on resurrecting art nights, and appreciating this community for its humanity, for our strengths and our weaknesses, all that come with it, says so much about the selflessness you bring to the world. And for parents and families who are out in the audience tonight, if you think chivalry and manners are dead, spend some time with Ethan. Ethan holds the door for the whole school, and he did tonight. Macy. I wish I could say Millbrook found Macy, but Macy found Millbrook. Macy, what my colleagues and I admire about you is your gentle wisdom. You know how to gently diffuse drama, offer the possibility of seeing a situation from another's point of view, and whether it's nature or nurture, you give without desire to be noticed. Thank you for making the trek from Colorado and giving so much of yourself for the good of this community. Pedro, I am your advisor, so this is what I have to say. I'll paraphrase Langston Hughes in Mother to Son. Life for you ain't been no crystal stair. You have every reason to hold a little bitterness on your tongue, to take swings at the world, and you are the polar opposite. Deeply grateful, kind, I'll get there. I know, I'll toughen up, Pedro. Wildly intelligent, caring, a pure delight for all who come in contact with you. You've given Millbrook so much in such a short period of time. Pedro, you've raised the bar, what it means to be a great student, a citizen, and an athlete. Raheem, I will quote your advisor, Mr. Whiting. He arrived a hockey player, and he learned that he's that and so much more. Whiting goes on to say, it's because you said yes to everything. Peer supporter, yes. DEIB leader? Yes. Leader of the Middle Eastern Affinity Group? Yes. I just learned that you have a YouTube channel on mixed martial arts and that there are 6,000 plus followers. At every turn, you said yes and you lived out a very simple truism in life. The more you give, the more you get. Thank you for your extraordinary contributions to Millbrook, Raheem. Tyler, your advisor, Mr. Burlington, describes you as the captain of the classroom. Yes, you live to learn, to improve your intellect every day. You're competitive, tenacious, and hardworking, and you are the captain of the classroom because you seek to bring out the best of those around you. Dr. T says you're simply a natural helper to your peers. For always trying to bring the best out of us, we thank you. And Jess, thank you for investing so deeply in Millbrook. 3-sport varsity athlete, 2-sport captain, dorm leader, studer, captain of Millbrook Singers, tech leader, lead tour guide, perfect attendance. You are a worker and a leader. Your personal strengths and contributions are evident to us all, and we thank you. Your 2024 Head Merit Award winners. In 1978, Millbrook was in tough shape. Enrollment was low and morale was lower. The school desperately needed someone to rise up, to build enthusiasm, and to make the best of the situation. The class of '78 did just that, and the faculty created this award in their honor. Elected by the whole faculty and presented annually to a member of the sixth form, the Class of 1978 Award celebrates that person whose spirit and enthusiasm have significantly enhanced the traditions of Millbrook School. On behalf of all of my colleagues, I am delighted to present the Class of 1978 Award to Sally Pinchot. Right here. What's up, Sally?
Hi, Mr. Downs.
Always prepared, always attentive, always joyful. Relentlessly optimistic and enthusiastic, Sally radiates resilience and perseverance. I generally believe that adversity does not just teach character, it mostly reveals it. This is a small community, Sally. You shared so much of your personal life with us, big family moves, the loss of your father, your search and struggle of your own identity from Houston to Bedford to Millbrook. And you played on. You played with passion, fervor, and an unwavering commitment to make the most of every moment. From The Priest and Mamma Mia, to Kevin G and Mean Girls, to Uncle Fester, it seems that you've been typecast by Miss Lifter as a comic relief dude. And you slayed it. You are unabashedly a proud contributor to JV soccer and JV lacrosse, a level where we need more pride, and you brought it. Sally, it is a rare and unusual moment in Millbrook history when unknowingly and simultaneously the faculty votes on a recipient for the 1978 award and the sixth form votes on the same student to be the speaker on graduation day. Clearly, you have inspired us all. We cannot wait to hear what you have to say tomorrow. Congratulations. Before we close with announcements, I want to ask for your help in wishing farewell and Godspeed to 4 members of the Millbrook community who, like the seniors, will leave us at the end of this year. Retiring from maintenance after 14 and 19 years, respectively, are John and Marie Garbolano. Retiring from our advancement office after 25 years at Millbrook as the former chair of the World Language Department and director of parent programs, Barbara Gatsky. And retiring from the advancement office after 50 years, the longest serving employee in the history of the school and Millbrook graduate, class of 1965, Bob Anthony. Is he here tonight? Is he here? He's at the dance. Where is he? A few announcements before we close. Faculty and seniors, when we depart, please proceed immediately to the chapel for last night's services. Parents, you are cordially invited to a reception with desserts on the class of 2022 terrace outside of Casertano Hall, our dining hall, and your sixth form children will join you shortly. Underformers, when we dismiss, go to your dorms immediately. You are all invited to join in the annual pre-commencement school road run, led as usual by Dr. T. We will gather on Sunday morning at 7:15 a.m. at the flagpole, and we will be on our way by 7:30. And finally, and most important, Millbrook's 93rd commencement exercises will begin tomorrow promptly at 10:54. Parents, family, and friends, please be seated by 10:45 a.m. This concludes our program.
so